Welcome, Georgia. Would you like to say your name, course, and year, and hometown?
So my name is Georgia. I study law. I'm in first year and I'm from East London.
So, do you want to tell us about what is the Gloss House?
So that's my business that I launched on the 1st of January. It's handmade lip gloss, basically.
Okay. So, you said you study law. Why did you choose
Yeah.
your course, and what do you think?
Sorry, hold on, my headphone fell. Um, why did I choose my course? So I didn't actually study it before I started. So I never did law A level or anything. But my A levels were all very like real world. I did economics, politics, and geography, so that they were very like real world,
Hmm.
like relevant stuff. And I enjoyed that about them. I just didn't want to do any of them in particular. But sometimes, with them kind of subjects, it was really interesting, but you would go around in circles a lot, like, oh, this person's point of view, that person's point of view.
Okay.
And with law, when I look, because I wanted to go, obviously, of course, I wanted to go uni, and I was looking for a course, and I saw law, and I thought I don't want to be a lawyer. But then I looked at it, and it's very real world in terms of situations and all that. But there's actually answers, like you can just look at the law. So I felt it fit me very well. I'm very argumentative as well. So,
Hmm.
you know, I
So,
just,
obviously, you said you're in your first year. So, like
yeah.
your first year, third semester. What do you think of the course so far?
Um, I got kind of cut off, but first term, I'm not gonna lie, you don't do very interesting modules first term. So at
What
first I thought,
what are these uninteresting modules for you?
so you do contract law, which is okay, and then you do legal skills
Could you go
and
into what, like, just a quick explanation what they are
yeah.
for? Obviously.
So contract law is just like contracts. So when you sign a contract,
Hmm.
how a contract is formed, all of that, acceptance,
Hmm.
offer, all of that, which is interesting. It's law, like it's similar to other modules that you'll do for everyone in the course. So it was a good introduction to the course. But then you have legal skills, which is one of it's just long. It is just about how to write an essay, how to do this, how to do that. Make sure you're reading your sources. So it's not very interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you. It felt a bit like a waste of time, but you just have to do it.
Hmm.
And then you have constitutional EU law, which half the time you felt was a bit pointless because we're leaving the EU.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just it felt a bit like a repeat of my politics A level, except with more stuff. So it was a bit dry. It was very dry. Yeah, the constitution and how the EU works is not very interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
Okay.
you just go do it.
So obviously, in your opinion,
Hmm.
what do you think the best A levels slash subjects for your course are?
I would say do an essay based subject. So a lot of time they promote history and English and that, but I didn't do any of those. Just something that you write essays and you read. If you come from doing science and maths, it will be tricky because you have to do so much reading with law. But you don't feel pressure to do law A level. Like I never did it, and a lot of people don't. They even say that a lot of people who do law A level don't do as well because they think that they they feel comfortable with the subject, whereas people who didn't do it tend to do a bit better. So no pressure if you haven't done law A level.
Okay. So what would you think? Oh, that's fine. So obviously, can you tell us what university you go to at the moment?
Bournemouth,
Okay. So what are the
yeah,
best and
Bournemouth
what's the
Uni.
worst things about going to Bournemouth University?
The
The
worst.
worst.
Mm, um, to be honest, it's fine. Like I don't find the uni. Like I enjoy the uni. I would say
Even if it's just
with this
minor.
whole
Even if it's just minor.
minor. Um, okay, I would not gonna lie. With this COVID situation, I don't
Okay.
like the inconsistency with how the accommodation is charging
Okay.
because yes, I don't like that. That's another thing. But I don't know if you want me to go into that or not.
You can if you
But
want.
yeah,
You
that's
can. Obviously,
nah. It's
what's
just
what's 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 wrong? Tell us.
I think okay. So obviously, with this whole COVID situation, the uni's told everyone go home unless you have to stay, and with Bournemouth University, you've got a bunch of student accommodation that are Bournemouth University owned, a bunch that are in partnership with Bournemouth University, and then a bunch that are kind of private but linked basically. And so my accommodation, which is linked in partnership with Bournemouth University, even though Bournemouth told us to go home, they said to us that they're still taking rent from us, even though they know we're not there. But then 2 days ago, Bournemouth Uni came out with a statement after knowing what their partner did, saying that their university should their accommodation, they get 50% off. So it's like you watched your partner come out with like a statement and then you bettered it, knowing if we knew that we'd be, you know, disadvantaged depending on what accommodation we chose at the beginning of September, then maybe we would have chose differently. You know, no one told us that. So yeah, I'm not enjoying having to pay full rent and they're even not letting us get access to the building.
So what accommodation are you living at the moment?
Lyme Regis.
So is that
Well,
not
no,
part?
I'm home now. I'm in
Oh yeah, yeah.
London.
That's fine. So are you not? Are Lyme Regis a part of the Bournemouth University?
They're in partnership. So underneath the sign, it says in partnership with Bournemouth University, but it's run by Campus Village Living,
Could you tell
which
us
is another
what
story.
that means then? So what does it
So
mean?
it's a privately run. It's not run by Bournemouth. The accommodation isn't run by it, but it is in partnership. So everybody in Lyme Regis probably goes to Bournemouth University. Like it's not
Okay.
like, oh, anyone staying there. Like it is assumed that you go Bournemouth Uni if you stay there.
Okay. Now, what are the best things about Bournemouth University?
Surprisingly, it's kind of similar, but actually the location of the accommodation. So obviously a lot of unis, they've got campus on campus accommodation. And before I came uni, I thought that's what I want. Like, yeah, I want to be, you know, roll out of bed, go lecture, like, you know, everything's around the corner, everyone's on campus together. I thought that's what I'd want. And I was kind of a bit disappointed because obviously with Bournemouth, all our although we're all right next to each other, we are in town. Um, but I actually prefer it so much more. Like I think it's actually like it's so nice. You still feel the community feel that you're around students because you know there's an accommodation next door to me, there's one across the road, there's three behind me. Like
They're all
everyone's
close.
still exactly you're still all close to each other, but you're away from uni. So it ends the day I'm like, no, I'm going home. Like you actually feel like you're going home. And you
Mm.
know, the beach is down the road, Asda's right there, Lidl's right there, everything's there. So I prefer it being actually off campus, but around
Okay.
people, around students.
So now we're going to go into obviously a bit of Lyme Regis. You said you live there, right?
Yeah,
Okay. What are the worst things about Lyme Regis?
you interviewed my flatmate, Temi. So you probably got a lot of what happened in our building and in our flat over this year. But let's start. I moved in for 3 weeks and we moved in, my window didn't open. And
Okay.
so you can imagine, beginning of September, it's hot and there's no air in that whole building and my window didn't open. They gave me a fan, which didn't do nothing. Yeah, and they kept saying people was gonna come. So yeah,
Never
my window
came.
didn't open for 3 weeks. Nah, and they just don't. They'll just turn up. So like you complain, our fridge broke, our window broke. This that everything just goes wrong. When we had a flood 3 days before I had to go back after Christmas, and then I turned up and there was a big pot. Luckily, our floor didn't get flooded, but floor 10 and above got 10, 8, 9 all got flooded. There was a big puddle though in like when you walked into our flat, like no lift for it was 3 4 weeks. It was supposed to be 6 weeks plus, but they actually got it quicker. No lifts. I'm on the seventh floor, so I had to like minimize how much I was leaving the house. Like it was a lot of issues. You'd complain to them and they'd be like, oh well, it's not my fault, and it's like, well then who are we supposed to complain to? Like if
Very
just
inconvenient.
just a whole load of stuff. Like it looked pretty because they did a refurb, but it was cosmetic. So like they painted the walls, they put new blinds up, so it looks pretty, but in reality, everything don't work. And yeah, like they're like, oh, the problem is the outside of the building, and we'd have to close off the road to fix it, and this, that. So what do you want me to do if my window's leaking now? My window leaked as well. Yeah, and
So
they don't
now
have enough flood kits because all the windows in the building were leaking. So they said to put towels there.
they told you to put towels on the windows
Yeah,
so
but it would leak through the towels after about 15 minutes because it's been raining from September. Like it's just been raining a lot, isn't it? Like whole of like last winter.
okay.
So
Now
I don't recommend Lyme Regis, guys.
what are the best things about Lyme Regis?
My flatmates, probably. Well, like, a couple of my flatmates, yeah, made good friends with them, and like made good friends with a couple of people. So like, we'd always link up in my flat. So
So
I
it's just
guess that was good.
a nice, maybe comes a nice place to stay with if you get some friends.
Yeah, and it looks nice enough. Like when the rooms look nice enough. I'm not gonna lie. Like
It's just if
you got
everything
double.
worked, it would be better.
Huh?
It's just if everything worked, it'd
Yeah.
be better.
If it would worked and it was run properly, like it just the management didn't seem to care about a lot of things. So that's the two things. But if you don't really care about them things, if you just want somewhere nice and it was more affordable than a lot of the other like there was some nice accommodations, but I can't afford that.
That
So if yeah,
leads
huh?
into our next question.
Oh,
What
okay.
do you think the best accommodation is in Bournemouth for the price? In
For
your
the
opinion,
price,
for the price and what you get.
mm-hmm. For the price and what you get, um, I would say if you for price and what you get. See, Bailey Point and Bellerton and them, they're really nice. They're really nice to look at, but they are expensive. I think Oxford Point is slightly cheaper, yeah, and that's really nice. But really, it's just fancy when you go in there. I remember going in there thinking, "Wow, okay, sorry." So yeah, they're nice, I would say. But if you've got low budget or lower budget, oh, I don't know. Yeah, just don't, just go for the nice ones. Just go for the
Let's go
nice
for the
ones. It's
nice
not worth
ones. Let's
it.
go
Because
for the
it's still,
nice.
because either way, it's still a lot of money. Like, even though mine is cheaper, it's still a big amount of money that you're spending,
Hmm. You might as
So
well
if
go
you're going to
out.
spend big, you might as well, do you know what I mean?
Go out.
Like, if your loan don't cover it, use your overdraft. Like, that's what it's for.
Just
But
don't
yeah.
use overdraft.
Well, it's 0%. It's 0%. It's 0%. Use
so,
it to pay your loan and don't touch it for anything else. That's what I would do.
so
That's what I do. Use
how
it
you
to
going to eat?
no, so I save my money at work. I have my business. Like you gotta do that. You gotta do what you gotta do. Like let's say
Okay,
that.
that's all right. That's all right. So let's talk about the Bournemouth area now.
Okay.
What do you think, and what is there to do? What's the best things to do in the Bournemouth area? Say if you had a friend, like you said, Temmie. Say if Temmie didn't go to
Mhm.
Bournemouth University and she was coming down to Bournemouth. What's the things you
Mhm.
must do while you're in Bournemouth?
In terms of like in Bournemouth in particular, I would say I like to go on walks and that. So if it's not raining, like go down by the beach. Don't have to go
Mm.
to the beach, but like go by the coast, like just walk. Like it's a nice place to walk. Coming from London, I thought it would be worse going to a small like town, but Bournemouth is busy enough for me. Like compared to a lot of other unis that I know are in the middle of nowhere, like Bournemouth has got things going on. So you won't if you're from a busy town, like a busy city or whatever, you won't feel I don't know, like it's dead. I think there's a lot going on, but definitely go. But again, like Bournemouth in particular, you're by the beach and it's a nice beach. It's not stones, like it's sand. Like on a nice day, it looks pretty. So Bournemouth in particular, you might as well go to the beach because you ain't got that in other unions, I guess, like that.
Okay, what are the job prospects in Bournemouth at Bournemouth?
I think are decent, to be honest with you. Personally, so I worked for like 2 years before I came like straight. When I started, my mom didn't want me to work; she wanted me to settle in, so I didn't get a job straight away. Um, but I know a lot of people did. There's loads of jobs on campus, but even if you can't get a job on campus, like I said, because the town's busy, like there's loads of places to work. Like, I've worked in waitressing like for 2 years. So when I went to apply, like there's Nando's, there's
There's
everything.
everything.
There's so yeah, but obviously there are also a lot of students. So if you want to work, you need to get in there early.
Okay,
Um,
so
but
start
there
of the
is
year.
yeah, I would say start of the year, January, whatever. But there are if you want to go apply, you can walk around town for a while, handing out your CV or whatever. Go
Mm.
online. There's places to work. I would say.
You mentioned you were working. Can you give us like the industry you're in?
Oh no! So currently, I'm not working. I worked for 2 years waitressing. So,
Okay.
for one year it was a small restaurant. The other year, Westfield Stratford.
Yes, in London.
Yeah, London, sorry, by Olympic Park and all that big shopping centre. I worked in Gourmet Burger Kitchen for a year.
Okay.
So and then I did apply actually just before the whole coronavirus thing. I was applying to work at Slug and Lettuce in Bournemouth because they had a lot of stuff going on, but then we had to come back, so it didn't happen.
So, can you tell us, if you joined any societies?
Mm. Yeah, so I joined Law Society. I joined African Caribbean Society. Did I join others? I think I've gone to others, but I haven't. Like, I've gone to see others, but I haven't joined any others. No.
So, can you tell us about the Law Society? What is the Law Society, and what do you do? Is it worth joining?
Um, the Law Society is obviously the society. You don't have. I honestly don't have to be a law student, but I don't really know. It makes sense if you're a law student, one, to meet other law students, because especially if you're doing law, you want to know other people in your course. You need to be able to call up someone and be like, hey, like, what does this case mean? Like, you need help. So it's good to get to know each other. Um, Personally, I think the Law Society wasn't what I expected it to be. Given like I think there's a lot of things I think that could be better, but the thing is if you think they can be better, that's the good thing about student run societies. So like at the moment, all these, applications for next year's was it like the president and all that that's going on now.
President, vice
So
president.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like there's a few things that I wish that really I think could have the potential with like the ACS as well. I'm not gonna lie, all the societies. But if you think that there's something and you want to change it, or you feel like you'd be good in a certain position, then apply for the president and apply for this next year. Like you can't just sit back and be like, oh, this isn't what I expected it to be, because yeah. So I think the Law Society is good. It does have a law ball, this big law ball at Christmas. It's the only society that has that in Bournemouth at the moment.
Mm.
I unfortunately I didn't go, but yeah. A lot of the socials are club nights, which is unfortunate if like you're not up to clubbing all the time. Especially with law, you want to do what about what about looking potential.
That's fine. Sorry, the connection just slowed down a bit. So, just before we get on to the next subject, can you tell us about the
Mm-hmm.
Bournemouth nightlife?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm not gonna. Yeah, there's a lot of clubs. I didn't appreciate until I spoke to some of my friends from other unis, and they were like, "Yeah, they've got their student club on campus, and that's it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because yeah, we've got the student club, which is across the road from my accommodation that I've never been to.
Is that the fire
Then there's
station?
like the old fire station. I've never been, but it's very busy, especially like Lollipop Friday, like Apple Bum. Them events that there's certain events run on different days. They're always crazy busy. You've got an event basically for every day. On Monday, you got Lost Monday, which is at a club that they're good. That's good music. Tuesday, Toast Tuesday is always packed. Wednesday, Cameo Wednesday, packed. Like there's always something for every single night. So and there's loads of different clubs to choose from. I know personally, there's certain clubs I like, certain clubs I don't like. But I'm not a crazy club person either. So
What's the club to go to?
everyone says Cameo Wednesday. Basement. Personally, I do like it, but because I always have lectures on Thursdays, I've only been twice.
Ooh, okay.
So the one I tend to go to more is Lost Mondays, just because like the music's good. It's a lot quieter, but the music's still good. But like I can actually, go to my lectures next day or not go to my lectures
Can you
depending
tell
on the
us
time.
a bit more about what is Lost Mondays?
So it's an event. I think it's like it's tends to be like R&B, bashment, like Afro beats, that type of music.
Like
But I
urban
think
music.
it's urban music, different DJs, but tends to be like it's just good. I think it's better sometimes, I guess, than some of the others because it is a bit smaller. It's quieter in terms of you're not like literally having to squeeze your way to breathe, like which
Mm.
personally I prefer because it's just so that's basically Lost Mondays. I don't know, it's on every Monday.
Okay, that's all right.
Different theme.
So obviously now you're at university, meaning you chose it
hmm
over an apprenticeship and going right into work.
hmm
Why did you choose university for your next step?
I think I've always been like an academic person in terms of like, so I've always had in my head, oh, I'll go uni, even before I knew what course I was going to.
It was always
Um,
like a just you just knew you were going to university. You didn't know what you were studying, you just knew
yeah,
something's
yeah, I
gonna
think
go study.
I'm big on like just taking opportunities that I've got in it, and like my dad never went uni. Like my mum, she got a degree, but she never. I'm the first person like to go away to uni, so
Mm,
I recognize the opportunity it is to be able to go and study. Like I'm in a like I don't have. Yeah, okay, I have to pay my loan back, but I don't have to fork out money to pay for my degree. You know what I mean? Like I got
mm,
student loans, so why am I not taking the opportunity to do it? But I would say again, even if that's the case, if uni's not for you, don't do it, because you have to do the work. So yeah, that's why I chose uni. But also, I only found out like about possible, because you know a lot of like subjects like law and like those accounting, all them subjects in recent years, literally in the last 3 years, like latest, they've started offering apprenticeship schemes to be able to get into that field. Whereas before it was always, you do your degree.
mm-hmm.
And I only found out we had like only found out in like the February uni about a lot of the big law firms are running about doing a kind of apprenticeship thing into becoming qualified as a lawyer. But that is a very new thing.
Mm.
So like, and I think if I didn't want to go uni, it would be an amazing option to do that. So definitely, if you know for sure, because I didn't know for sure I wanted to be a lawyer as well. I wanted to use the course to see what I wanted to do. But if you know for sure you want to be a lawyer, or like a lot of all these other professions, especially recently, there's a lot more options that you can do an apprenticeship for it. You do still have to, I think, study like 1 day a week, but it's a yeah. So there's options, but personally, yeah, uni was for me, and I'm glad I did it, especially away from home. Especially away from home.
Can you tell us why? Why the away from home is a
No, like not even. I don't think it's not even like I'm close with my family. Like I don't even mind being at home. It's more. Um, I went to school, and then I went to a sixth form college, and I went to a sixth form college in like central London, kind of. So I commuted for 2 years to college, and I feel like I'm the type of person that I like a change of routine. So if, for example, I just went to a London uni and I was commuting every day, going to my lecture, going
just
home,
be the
it
same?
would feel very similar.
Mm.
And I was, but even by the time I was finishing college, I was ready to leave. Like I'm ready for the next step.
Okay.
So I couldn't have done that for another 3 4 years.
Mm.
But yeah, definitely going away. Like I've met people. I think I grew up like you grow up. You just grow up because
Just
you
go
come
out.
back. You don't realize at the time, but you come back home and you realize, no, like I can do these things. Like you just have to
Mm.
do things and you do them. So
Okay.
yeah.
So can you tell us more about the Gloss House?
Cool. So we are at Handmade. It's run by me. Literally, I had a couple friends helping me make some glosses one time, but it's literally a one-person team. I sell on Etsy online. As currently I'm selling nationwide, but yeah, like I said, soon it will be worldwide. I make them by hand. I've got 4 different grosses, but we sold it out, and now I put the shop on a break because I need to. Yeah, we'll reopen in a few weeks hopefully, but we're relaunching with some new stuff. We're relaunching with one of our specials, so go on the Instagram because I do all my marketing
Which is
on Instagram. Sorry.
which is
Oh, underscore at underscore the gloss house at underscore the gloss house. Sorry. Yeah, just check it out, see what you think. But we've had really good reviews, and it's been really good, I think, selling because I've gotten orders from Scotland, from north of England, from all over. So it's been good because I thought it was just going to be a thing of with people I knew of that I knew that they're telling their friend, but by doing it, the way I did it, I've had people message me from other countries saying, like, are you gonna sell? So definitely like just start something, man. I literally thought about it in November and I launched it in January. Like, just start something. Like I've got a lot of friends. Temmie, she does her what Miss Charming. Like everybody just do your thing, especially at uni, like you got the time.
okay. So obviously we're having this conversation over video as we can't meet. So
Mm-hmm.
how have you been holding up during Corona slash COVID-19?
Um it's been hard to like to get into the work like mode, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm the type. It's just, I think it depends on the type of learner you are. I know I'm the type of person, when I'm doing my work, I will leave my house and go library, or I will leave my house and go somewhere, just because I find it hard to, like, keep concentration when I'm at home. So I think it's hard. Like, there's a lot of emails coming in. You have to go online, do this, do that. Like, I found it hard, definitely, for sure. But
Are you just getting along with it? It's just
it gets what it is. I mean, I need to, because I've got a lot of assignments during the next few weeks. But no, like, I feel like up until now, I think I could have been doing a little more, in terms of, I probably would have been doing more when I'm at uni, because you're more immersed in, like, your learning environment. But, like, the uni, they've got a no detriment policy, so hopefully, no matter what happens, like, you're not going to be, like, too badly affected. Plus, I guess I'm lucky in the sense that, this happened to me in first year. If this happened to, like, I've, like, not to put anyone down, but I feel, like, worse, I guess. I think I'd feel worse if I was in third year or second year, where it actually counts towards my final degree. But I guess you got to look at, like, the silver lining, and right now, it could have been worse for me. So,
okay.
sorry, my headphones is falling out.
Right.
But
So, how
yeah.
has this affected your course?
I think not as badly as other courses, because it's not like, law is very independent anyway. You just have to read your textbooks and, like, do your essays. It's not like other subjects where they physically have to be there. So I feel like we're not as badly affected as, I've got a friend who does physiotherapy, and she was so stressed because you literally, for the exam, they have to touch each other, and they can't do it. Exactly. So I guess, that we're lucky in that sense, I would say. So, like, not having the library, as much as I probably didn't use it as much as I probably could have when it was there, like, as a law student, you should be using your textbooks, using the library, like, and as much as we have got the online library, and I did manage to, like, take a couple textbooks with me, but not being able to use, like, the library fully, the way that I think has been a bit difficult. And I like asking questions a lot. Like, I do that a lot with my seminar leaders in seminars. So I guess, and I'm not really going to do that with online seminars first. It's just weird because there's so many people I don't know, whatever.
So you've moved online, like, for all your seminars?
Yeah, so seminars, lectures, everything's online. But they're not like before, where we're in our small groups of seminars, because obviously it doesn't really work with technology. So they put, like, 3 seminar groups together and just do one big seminar. And I guess when it's like that, people don't feel as comfortable to, talk or send them, like, type a message, whatever. So they are a bit different, but, like, I can't complain. But it's just the way I learn personally, I think it's definitely been a struggle for me. But I think for other people who learn differently, I think they'll be okay.
Okay. So at this point, we allow the students to kind of do a summary of everything we spoke about. Some students just like to say, "Here's my don't forget to look at my makeup." Obviously for you, so some other things like you said about the law and the apprenticeship, look out for everything. So this is all you. Just the floor is yours.
I would say, if you're coming to uni in September, or in 2 years' time, don't stress about, like, or if you get a uni that you weren't necessarily deciding that was the one you wanted, like, your uni experience is your uni experience. You're not comparing it to other people. So when you get to your uni, trust me, you'll have the same like, you won't be comparing it to other unis. So don't stress about, this wasn't the uni I planned to go to, because it wasn't mine, and I'm enjoying my time. Also, check out my Gloss House page at the Gloss House.
So what's your at?
At _ the Gloss House. I can show you the business card and everything.
Yeah,
yes, I'll send you the business cards.
Can we see the business card?
Yeah, wait, hold on. My business card, you can't miss it. Yeah, for lip gloss is bright orange. At the Gloss House, on the back. Yeah, if you see bright orange, you know it's mine, because no other lip gloss store is bright orange.
Okay, thank you. So obviously, just end it with don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'm plugged in.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm plugged in.
Thank you.